Welcome
everyone.
to, hello Dave.
Hi, Naomi.
We are back to our series of Education 3000. I am Noemi Paiman, the founder of Education 3000. And today we have a beautiful subject. Hello Dave.
Hi, Naomi. Hi, everybody watching at home. I'm David Fegan, the International English Program Coordinator at Education 3000, or P3000 as we're also known. This is our 12th video in our Level 1 series, Co-Recreating Education. We've been looking at the pedagogical tools, putting things into practice. What are we going to look at in this video, Naomi?
Yes, I would like to wrap up a little bit with the tools. And there is a concept that's called the famous triad or pedagogical triad. I think you can see on my screen, right? Or our
Perfectly
screen.
clear.
Pedagogical triad. So it's three basic concepts, and all education would evolve or go around that,
Revolve around it, right?
revolved, as well is known as education in a higher octave. And we talk about octave of consciousness. You are a musician. What's happening here?
So we can see obviously we've got the octave, with the typical notes, da 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 da, or in Spanish, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si. So 8 notes, and then a new octave starts. That's
It's
what we're
like a
looking at
jump.
here.
And we go back to do, but there is more consciousness, more awareness, and it's completely different. What we are expecting with education is really jump to the next octave, or everything would be different in the sense we have more consciousness, more fun, wisdom. Um, I think all the old paradigms are switching, and we will do this. Sometimes they call it a quantum leap, when something is getting moving a lot, and then you jump.
Yeah,
And
a
this is the
big
same with
jump.
consciousness. It's the same with evolution, actually, of the humanity. In anthropology, it's called a quantum leap. Like, for instance, when you go from Cro-Magnon to Sapiens, Homo
So
sapiens,
a
it
big
was a
jump,
jump.
something important, a
And
big
now we are
shift.
inside a new jump, a new leap, and it's beautiful. So this is the theory behind. But let's go back to the triad.
Yeah, so we've got wisdom, unconditional love, and enthusiasm, action.
So it's like always, the wisdom is here, the heart is here, the action is the ends, always. And that concretely, there is some tips. If you want to work with the heart or with unconditional love, I put unconditional love because not the love like, oh, I love everything, and it's like, no, it's a very profound and deep love, and very conscious as well. So when you want to use this part of it's the growing of the human being, you use sound. When you want wisdom or truth, you use light and colors. And if you want enthusiasm, which is like to do, you use form and movement. And we go all around, which is basically to feel, to think, to do, to make it simple. So, like an exercise, let's say you want to do something, let's say you like to cook, right? So we cook, and then we feel, oh, it's nice to share the food. How did I feel when I cooked? What are the feelings? And then I think, what are the measure? What did I do? So education would always go around these three principles. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, it's all super connected. I mean, like for a better education, right?
Yeah. Because before it was only to think, and it was not enough. I mean, two-thirds of education and of what I am really was not considered, and that was not good enough. And that's what we want to do with the seven petal school. To feel will be pink and violet.
Yeah, to think would be the yellow petal, to do the blue, white, green, and red petals. So we've been explaining a little bit about the 7 petal schools throughout this level 1 series of videos, and we are going to look at them in more detail. So this
Mm.
will become crystal clear. But the way that we've sort of divided, I guess, maybe a curriculum or what a complete education should include. That's what we're relating these to, the different pedals. But
And
we'll talk about that.
mm-hmm.
So it's obviously something we'll go into more detail, but for those of you who have been following the series, I think you'll sort of understand this organization and how we're trying to just organize things as clearly as possible.
Yeah, before education was think, and it was extremely logical and left brain kind of education. And now we want everything, the left brain as well, but the right brain and the heart and the action all together. That's why it's called integral. And sometimes we say holistic education. We consider all the levels of development of the human being. And that's why we feel so good and fulfilled and full inside. And one example how to use sound. This is with music. This exercise, you have beautiful colors and movement. So this is an example when you combine the three aspects of the triad, and it's very good for the synapses and the connection in the brain. You have to process very fast, and you have more brain plasticity, and it's very enjoyable. So let's go one by one. First, the sound. Very important because that's emotion. We would recommend you to use music with those kind of hertz.
Mm-hmm. So 432 hertz, okay, that's conducive for harmony. 528 hertz related to love. 936 hertz connection.
But don't use it all the time. I mean, specific moment, or when you are between classes, or start the class with some music. But all the time, it will saturate it. It will be saturating.
So using it too much maybe makes it less effective because it's just saturation,
Correct.
right?
Correct. And then use sound of ancient sound, or sound of original people,
Got the
and a lot of
didgeridoo from
drums.
Australia.
Australia, you have the didgeridoo.
Uh-huh.
Have you done it?
I've tried it before, and it requires a specific breathing pattern. It's a very beautiful, profound sound. I think there's a strong connection there with the earth. It
Yes.
resonates inside you.
Yes. And drum is very good, especially drum when you drum with your hands, not with a stick, because it will activate all the digipuncture points. And it's very good, the rhythm to balance the body. Use sound of nature, birds, sounds from ancestral knowledge. Where I live, we have beautiful sound like Kenya, Samponia, and
So
everywhere, wherever
wind
you have,
instruments, right?
find ancient sound.
So in Bolivia, we've got a lot of wind instruments,
Yeah, I think we can see them here.
and there's
And
also sorry to
uh-huh.
interrupt you, Naomi, about
No, no, go. You are a musician.
the bird sounds as well. There was a CD or a compilation of bird sounds released by an electronic artist, but he so I guess to sort of raise awareness for birds, and well, because as well we know what's happening in the Amazon. There's a lot of destruction, and people are not really taking that much care or notice. So that project was related to sort of recording sounds of different birds in around South America, maybe Central America as well, and very beautiful. There are also interactive maps as well, where you can click on different places around the whole planet, and you can sort of hear the sound of
Wow.
forests. So, sort of in my city, Melbourne, around there in Australia, but you can go to Central America, you can go to Europe. It's very beautiful.
What the name of the musician?
The musician who was sort of organizing the bird sound project, his artist name is El Bujo, which in English is the owl. Um, so he did that
Buho. So
uh-huh,
you can type and find that.
El
Because they say
Bujo.
birds are therapy too. The bird sound is a sound therapy. It's very important.
But yeah,
Wow.
definitely
Cool.
here in South America where we live, the concept of music is different, and the connection between your soul and the land is more profound. I guess we have that in all cultures as well, but maybe in Western cultures we're more accustomed to listen to pop music, rock music, a different kind of connection to music, which is also good, but different.
And the voice, use the voice. Make sure the children, the young people, they can sing, shout, use a microphone. But if you can express yourself through your voice, it's very close to the heart as well, and it's very good to release all your emotion and express yourself. And ask you, I ask you, Dave, what kind of all the kids they love the microphone, don't they?
They do love the microphone, and I think, like, if we think about adults as well, I notice, like, when I'm in a really good mood, I'll sing. I'll be in the shower singing. I'll be cooking in the kitchen singing. I think it's a good. If you're singing, you're probably in a good place, a good emotional state.
Yeah, and that's the secret of karaoke as well. And that's why you have a good microphone, by the way.
That's why I've invested in good microphones to make music.
And make bands and play together is good as well, for the team building. Any kind of concert, any kind of music, any kind of program, give the concert. There is a school in Bolivia, it's called Laredo. Every afternoon, the entire afternoon, they do art dance, and they have a beautiful philharmonic orchestra. They are very known around the country, and the kids, they love it. I went to this school and it was 8 o'clock at night. And I say, what are they doing? They don't want to go home. They wanted to go on with their project, with their music, with their painting, with their dance. Beautiful, beautiful. And those kids, they were very, can you say secure? Like you feel,
Secure, sure of themselves.
that's it. That's
Hmm.
it.
Yeah,
Very
very.
good to build personality and creativity. Oh, you are going to love this one. It's called Conscious Listening with Classical Music. En español, Escucha Consciente.
Mhm.
Do you know how it
So
works?
we're gonna have a look at a video right now, Amy, and
Yeah.
you told me a little bit about it before. Maybe you can give our viewers a little bit of a summary so they can follow along at home if they feel enthusiastic.
We will do it. I think it's better. You can look at me first, and then um, hello, hello. I want to my voice. It can be like that, no problem. So we will use both hand. By using both hand, we will use both hemisphere of the brain. So it's very easy to go into alpha waves. And we will follow the conductor stick. So when they go with this hand, I mean, it's just, we just follow the video actually. When they go here, we go with this hand. Yeah, that's it. And they go with the other hand when they show something with a stick. And we just follow the music, but we have to do the movement. That's why it's important. So it's part of the exercise. It's movement, listening, and concentration. So shall we see the video and we do it? And you
Yep.
type conscious listening or escucha consciente, and there is a bunch of this drawing with the music. Es la partida. No sé cómo se llama. When you write the music, but instead of having notes, we have drawings. Can you see my
Hmm.
screen?
I can see your screen.
So let's see. Oh,
And
sorry.
we encourage everybody at home. Don't be shy.
Yeah, nobody's looking at you.
And if they are, get them to do it with you.
So we prepare our hands. And in that case, it would be Vivaldi. Just one hand. Now the other one. Oh, this one is fun.
Thank you very much.
How do you feel?
I feel good. I mean, I think it doesn't matter if you're good or not. It's just fun as long as you can sort of let go of being self-conscious. But I do feel like I got better towards the end, but the people at home might not agree with that. But I'm smiling. Look, I
Yeah,
feel
and
good.
then you can do it closing your eyes, and then you can put colors, and then you can do more exercise with this. And the beautiful things as you use both hand, obviously we use the both hemisphere. When you use both hemisphere of the brain, automatically we go in alpha waves. And alpha waves, yeah, it's um, a superior kind of waves for the brain, and that's why we feel good and we have a nice experience. And I
And
just know so some schools they do it with the children and they, oof, they have a blast. They go away
it's
because
more
of the alpha waves.
and something I love about it as well, it's more inclusive. Like we don't this idea that we all have to learn in the same way. No, like we looked at Daniel Tammer, like we've discussed before, who was building landscapes out of mathematical figures. Everybody's different, and that just makes me so happy to see that colors, patterns, a different way of learning something.
Correct. And we have the famous triad because you have the sound, you have the colors, and you have the movement. So it's another example where when you combine, it's cool. Silence, please use silence, moment of silence. Use this as a tool, as a pedagogical tool, because during the silent time, you can process information. It's like to sink in. So I know some school, like every day or at least once a week at the same time, 20 minutes of silence, or they put some music sometimes, but everybody has to be part of the silent time. It's called as well communitary silent time, and you can read, you can sleep, you can meditate, but it's all in silence, and you respect everybody, including teachers, bus driver, primary school, secondary school, the gardener, the secretary, everybody. And you feel so good, and it's a good habit, because when you feel tense or stressed, you can always go back to the silent time and the breathing time, and it's a good habit of life that you can give to the children from a very early age.
Light and colors. That looks
Now
pretty
we go to
cool.
the third part of the triangle. Remember to have nice colors, good light, good lighting, sunlight, and even your clothes. For instance, Shishida, he was working with remember, this Japanese
Hmm.
pedagogue. He was asking all the teacher to wear some a nice pinkish clothes, so it would suit the baby and the toddlers. This kind of pink, for instance. And there is a something called snoozer room, where you have all the senses and all the colors, and you use it to stimulate all the senses. It's used in so-called special education, but you can use it in all cases and in all kind of teaching. Snoozer room. This is beautiful. Don't use it all the time, but remember to have nice colors. Oh, this is a math class. This is geometry. They learn their angles, but with flashlights. And all children and even young people, they were young here, they love to play with flashlights. It's magic. This is a real class, by the way. It's not for the picture.
So we can
Prism, you
definitely.
can diffract the light. Yes.
So we can definitely. I mean, like sometimes, obviously, some students love maths. Other students find it extremely difficult. The same with, I don't know, language. So these are ways that make, as well, like it's as a teacher, it's easier for you to engage your students. They don't hate coming to your class. So these are more ways to engage with the material, right?
Yes. And I saw on YouTube a lot of dance with math. So you learn your geometrical form, you learn your numbers, and it's fun. Your dance and math, and you will find. And if you are too shy to dance, you put the video, and they will do it by themselves, and they love it. They will say, "Where's the video with the dance and mathematics?" And light, you can diffract the light, with a crystal or with a prism,
Mm-hmm.
and you can have beautiful light on the wall. And it's the nature of this light is special. It's a more subtle, and it's a very good therapy. It's called colors therapy. There is some ways to use this. Solar clock, anything with the sun is
Yeah,
good.
sundial,
The what?
solar clock, sundial.
Sundial. Ah, sundial.
I was trying to think before what the word was, and I just remembered it now.
Sundial. And watch the stars at night, of course. Any activities at night are beautiful. Sometimes the kids, they are not familiar with darkness or with the night, or they are afraid when it's dark, because they are not used to. They don't go out. Don't be afraid to go out in any kind of weather, night. It's part of life, and it's very pedagogical. And put movements. This is a proof. Put volumes and movement. This is what I want to say with this slide. You know,
So,
sphere,
so
paint
could you
on
give us an
rocks.
example?
Some examples. For instance, instead of painting on a flat piece of paper, paint on a rock, on flower pot. Find to always volume. Or there is an exercise. It's a box. The child is inside the box, and he paint above the ceiling, the side, and the floor. So now he has all the dimensions, the four directions: up, down, side, right, and left. So this is very good to create more synapses. Avoid flat and black and white. and
Obviously, if
add
the
movement.
child is not claustrophobic, but
Yeah, no, one side of the box is open.
perfect.
Add colors to all activities, and it helps with the memory and avoid this kind of ugly thing.
Black and white, gray and brown colors. Avoid small and blurred letters. So we didn't blur the letters, but I invite our viewers to how do you feel looking at these colors? I don't feel particularly inspired. Do you, Naomi?
No, no. Actually, I have an art teacher. She was taking away the black, the brown, and the gray at the beginning, no, of the art classes. So the children are used to vibrant colors. And she said, Noemi, take them away. Then they can know how to deal with it. But at the beginning, no, she wanted everything vibrant. And the results were beautiful drawings. And then the fourth part of our triad, form and movement. So here's a pyramid, a human pyramid, and anything is moving. Again, dance, and all kind of circular movement.
So
And
the
here
third
are
part, right?
kids.
The third point in the triad, correct?
Yeah, first we saw the sound,
Mm-hmm.
then the color, and then movement and form. And always
Perfect.
go back to the three in a balanced way.
So some tips: move from 2D to 3D learning. Move away from black and white. It's not to say don't teach your students if you're an art teacher that black and white doesn't exist, but especially when you're starting with children, get them accustomed to the vibrant colors,
Yeah, even
right?
the marker. I don't buy black markers. I buy blue markers, and it makes a difference, mind you.
Stop one way teaching. So we're talking about the teacher at the front and just talking at the kids. So it's just, again, teacher at the front, at the kids. There's not really much, you know, going. There's no two-way learning. There's it's not very dynamic. Encourage non-linear teaching. What do we mean by that, Naomi? Non-linear teaching.
Like allow to learn three subjects at the same time. Allow to do a project when you use math and this is by ecology and the social science and art or STEAM, for instance.
So we
No
can,
little thing and then the other one and then the other one and it's a line and it's boring.
and as
And
well, it's
it does give you creativity and it doesn't create that much synapses.
and it's multitasking, right? You're combining
Yeah,
different skills.
definitely.
Listen, listen, which
Remember, the
is
children are multitaskers because of the right brain. The right brain can do several things at the same time. Don't be afraid of that. Maybe we can't, but they can and they must use this talent, this ability, I would say.
mhm. Listen as well, which is obviously very important. Provide several options for students, for children, and allow
Yeah,
several solutions.
like in the afternoon, we have this workshop, this workshop, this workshop, or we can do this project, but we can do this way, this way, this way. What do you choose? Or what are your ideas? And all of them are valid and recognize that.
Yeah. So you might remember, like our viewers at home, being at school and no only this, and again with several solutions. If it's not the solution in the book, the teacher no.
Zero. You have
But
a
you're not
zero.
encouraging. You're not encouraging different kind of thinking, different ways of thinking, arriving to a problem in a way that's different to you or a way that's different to what's being done. That's how we move things forward, right?
Yeah.
And
That
finally,
remind
there on the list,
yeah,
sorry,
go ahead and then I will tell you a story.
the last thing on the list there, promoting creativity, investigation, sharing.
Definitely. Allow several solution. There was a little kid. The dad said, how much is one plus one? Dad is three. And the dad was about to be mad or to say something. And then the child said, yes, we had mom, we had you, dad, and you have me. So from the two of you, we are three now. He was right.
He was.
He was damn right. Yeah. And there is a new kind of math as well. When you have several solutions, you give a problem and you have A, B, C, D solution, and they are all correct. So it's very good for lateral thinking. And
Yeah.
we
So
can explore quantum physics when you have so much solution as well. And you can even teach quantum physics to young children so they will unlock all these capacities.
yeah, very important. I love that point as well about allowing several solutions. Obviously, we're not talking about, taking it to some ridiculous extreme, but think about as well, like the way that you can also sort of damage or affect children when they're young. You say no, no, no. They always hear no. What kind of society is that creating where everybody just thinks the same? No, more than ever, we need different kinds of thinkers, people with new ideas, innovation. So I think that's a pretty important point there.
I saw I saw a video of a teacher. She said, Pedro, here you have two, and here you have two. So plus two, how much it is? And he said, oh, teacher, I have 22, because he saw two at two and it's 22 if you put two next to two. And she was so upset. She asked the parents, I mean, she made a meeting because of these answers, but this answer was correct as well.
Well,
So,
it definitely showed
and the
another
poor
way of
child was
thinking.
traumatized.
I mean, if he thought that, it's probable that other children thought that as well, And again, like think about like instant messaging now, where we're communicating with emojis and like
Yeah,
so. There's different ways of thinking, and it's very important.
definitely. And meta languages and even empathy is a way of communicating. I mean, communicating. Okay, let's go. Mandalas, you can present things in mandalas. It's much nicer than the list, like shopping list. We are going to do this. You can put the schedule. You can put this was for a book, by the way, and it's beautiful. It's and beautiful colors, and it's perfect geometry. Or we can use the famous mind map as before, which is good too. It's good for children to go back to the centers and to develop ideas and not get lost. Summary.
So yeah, using 3D movement, colors, and sounds. Use all the walls, also the ceiling and the floor of the space. Make islands or subgroup activity. Sorry, organize projects in teams, and use circles and domes.
I know a
Why?
teacher. She had a shark, and they were going in the patio, all the kids, and drawing big letters and all the alphabet, but on the floor. So because on an exercise book, it's very hard on the shoulder. It's very stressful for children, and motricity, the fine motricity, is not developed yet. So to grab a pen is not the ideal way of starting to write, and then you don't like to writing. So she was doing outside. You can do it in sand, you can do it on rocks. There is so much way. Be away from the desk and the exercise book when they are young, so their body can relax. If not, it really hurts and their back hurts. What do you mean by make islands? Group of activities. So
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes they say, oh, but they have 30 children or pupils or students that they owe the education. So we divide one group of five, one group of six, and they can do different tasks. And it's much easier for the teacher and for the student. Circles and domes. Here's a dome. Do you know why it's so great to use
Why
this
is
kind
it so
of
great?
shape?
It looks awesome, but I think there's probably also a scientific slash
Yeah,
educational,
because it's
pedagogical.
circular, so the energy will flow. It's not like the corners when all the energy is stuck in the corner. And the dome will enhance the brain capacity because our cranium is a dome actually here. So if you have a second dome above it, it will just, how do you say enhance? It will
Enhance.
all the cerebral activities, and it's well done by all kind of architectures. They use the dome what they want, a special effect in a crowd or in a group or a thinking group. So if you want to think well, think under a dome, and you are more connected as well. Or in a yurt, because as well it's round. So I know some experimental school. They had children very like niños inquietos, very moving children,
Restless kids, restless
restless.
children.
When they were going to the yurt, they will come down automatically because of the round shape and the sound. There is no reverberation. The acoustic is perfect in a yurt. And they used that and they had excellent result. And it's not expensive at all. It's fun.
And I,
Dodecahedron. Hedron.
activities with dodecahedron structures.
There is a movement in South America, I don't know in Australia, where they give classes or they do activities, especially reconnecting activities inside the dodecahedron. And according to this movement, it's because they say that's the shape of the DNA and it's good to activate some codes in the DNA. I don't know if it is true, but it's very nice and very sweet to be inside a dodecahedron. We can see some example even for the dog here. I loved it. Can you see the little dog here?
Uh-huh.
Inside is the dodecahedron. And this is a DNA, it turns around and it makes a dodecahedron.
So a
And
lot of
they have the phi measure.
connected to our bodies as well, our genetic makeup.
Hmm. See, this is example of not flat but 3D. The calendars, you can do it on a dodecahedron and you work with volumes and you learn your geometry at the same time. And it's more fun than to have a flat piece of paper and do the months of the year, for instance. And you connect more synapses and you have more plasticity in the brain. And again, connect with archetypes and symbols, and the children, they can have their own symbols and have their own archetypes, and they can play hours with this and decode colors and form and shape, 2D or 3D. Combine topics. Remember, they are multitaskers. So this is an example when they learn the 5 elements linked to the 5 platonic solids or the 5 polyhedron. One of them, this one is a dodecahedron. And you link with Ayurvedic medicine, meaning these fingers is for this connection or for this disease, or this one is connect with earth. So they learn how to heal themselves. So this is combined topics. And they love it because they are very quick. Remember, they have an associative intelligence. So they rapidly associate and they learn everything and extremely fast. And you teach once and the next day they remember everything. You don't have to teach again and again and again the same topic. They want to do something else. They say, yeah, we did it yesterday. We remember this. So this is super attention when they lack the subject.
And changing body position is also important, right, Naomi?
Yes. So you lie down. Sometimes I see on a bicycle they read, or in a hammock, or walking. Now they do walking class. I know university in Chile, the teacher walks and they walks outside and they have the class walking, which is very interesting as well. That's it for today.
So we're done for now with the pedagogical tools. We hope that you guys found it useful, practical, things that you can put into practice. Obviously, if you've got any questions, you can comment below in the comment section of the video, get in touch via Gmail, Facebook, and check out our resources. We've got so many resources, 20 years of work, of hard work across the globe. Check out those links below in the description.
Yeah.
So we're at the midpoint now, Naomi, of the Level 1 Education 3000 series, Co-Recreating Education.
Halfway. And the next video is going to be pure 7 petal school.
Nice. So we're going to explain those and get in depth about the 7 petal schools that we've been talking so much about. Thank you again, Naomi. Thanks for everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thank you and take care and enjoy. Thank you. See you.